Hey guys, and welcome back to Lemon Tech. Today we have a video explaining the best streaming settings for OBS. If you want to watch the best recording settings for OBS, just click here and it'll take you to that video. But for now, let's get into the best streaming settings. Okay, so first of all, you want to launch OBS and go in the settings. Once you go into the settings, you need to go straight to the streaming tab. The general tab, we don't really need to worry about too much right now. This is where you will actually choose the streaming service. So whether you want to stream on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, if you want to stream on Kick, because I know that's quite popular as well, you're going to want to go to custom, and then you're going to have to add your server and stream key and all that stuff. But for this video, we're actually going to be using Twitch. You can see that it gives you two options, either to connect your Twitch account or to use a stream key. Now I would recommend that you connect your Twitch account, just because that allows you to get the docs on OBS, so the chat docs and things like that. But yeah, that's for you to choose whatever streaming service you want, but we're just gonna say Twitch for now. And if you do choose Twitch, connect the account. So once your Twitch account is actually connected, it's gonna show you this. Make sure that this is checked, just because we don't want OBS changing any of our settings automatically or anything like that. So just make sure that's checked. Next up, go to the output section on the left here and make sure you're on streaming. We don't really care about recording here. Again, if you want recording, go to that video. And make sure that you are on advanced. Now here, make sure you have audio track on 1. Check the Twitch VOD track and put that on a different track. For here, we're just going to do 6. Keep FFmpeg AAC on. For the encoder here, you're going to want to use your NVIDIA NVENC H.264 encoder, which is the encoder on your NVIDIA graphics card. If you have an AMD one, this would say something like AMD HW H.264 AVC or something like that. And if you don't have a graphics card like an NVIDIA or a AMD, you can use X264, but it's not very recommended because that's going to put a lot of strain on your CPU, and it could be laggy. It's going to put a lot of pressure on your CPU basically. So pick this and then ignore this for now, and then just go down to encoder setting. Now you want to come down here and make sure that the rate control is CBR. Now when it comes to bitrate, this is highly dependent on you and what kind of quality you want your stream to be. So this kind of depends on whether you want your stream to be 1080p or 720p or like 30 fps or 60 fps. So this is really for you to choose. Now, just for a guide for people starting out, Twitch actually have a guide that they've released that's very useful, which I will link in the description. But essentially what this guide explains is that if you want to stream, for example, at 1080p 60 fps, your bitrate will have to be around 6000 kilobits per second. Now you can put it higher, you can put it at 8000 kilobits per second, and it will give it that extra bit of quality, but 6000 according to the Twitch guide is enough for 1080p 60 fps. And for example here, if you want to do it at 720p 60 fps, Twitch recommends 4500 kilobits per second. Now I've streamed at 720p 60 fps in the past, and I've done it at a much lower bitrate than 4500. I think I was doing it at like 3000 or 3500 or something like that. You can play around with it, but I would recommend that if you're starting out, you just follow this guide depending on what resolution and frame rate you're trying to stream at. It's a pretty decent, useful guide. For this video, as an example, let's say we're doing 720p 60 fps, which is a decent resolution and frame rate to be streaming at. Twitch is recommending 4500 kilobits per second, so that's what we're going to do for this video, just as an example. Keyframe interval, put that at 2. Preset kind of depends on how good your PC is, but I would recommend one of the good quality ones. I would start out at P5 slow good quality and kind of just assess there. If your PC can't handle it, put it at a lower one. If your PC is handling it fine, put it at a slightly higher one. Obviously the higher the better, but I would recommend you just put it at P5 for now. Leave multipass mode as it is and leave profile as it is. Make sure psycho visual tuning is checked, and that's pretty much it for this section. Next up, we want to go on audio here. So we're still on output, but go to the audio section up there and make sure that all of your tracks are like 192. I would say put it at 192. Now if you want higher audio quality, you can put it at 320, but what I find is that once you go past 192, you're not going to be able to hear actually a noticeable difference on stream, especially how most people watch streams is on like, you know, on their phone or whatever. You're not really going to hear a difference. If you're wearing headphones, you might be able to, but it's going to be very small. But by all means, if you want to put it on 320, you can. It's just 192 is a decent, like, sweet spot for it to be at. So yeah, now that's all done, go to the audio section. Now for the sample rate, I would put that at 48. Now for the sample rate, I would put that at 48 kilohertz, but 44.1 also works fine, but I would say keep it at 48. Keep channels on stereo. Desktop audio is going to be the device that you hear stuff from, so your headphones or your speakers or, you know, things of the sort. We have headphones, so we're just going to pick that. Now you might notice that it says voice meter. This is because we have voice meter set up so that it separates everything, game audio, Discord, things like that. If you want to learn how to do that, check out our voice meter video. Mic auxiliary audio, but to start out, you're only just going to have to set desktop audio if you don't have everything separated. So I essentially just press this and pick your speakers or your headphones or whatever. Mic auxiliary audio, pick your microphone. So in our case, for this video, we're using a Blue Snowball, so it's on the Blue Snowball. Now this is the last section. Go to video. Essentially, base resolution has to be the resolution of the screen that you're going to be streaming. So if you have a 1080p screen or a 1440p screen, whatever it may be, just make sure that the base canvas resolution matches that. Usually it's just going to be like that automatically. This is a 1080p screen, so it's automatically on 1080p. Now the output resolution is the resolution that your stream is actually going to be in. So if you're trying to stream at 1080p, just leave that as 1080p. Leave that to match your base canvas or whatever. But in our case, we said that for this video, as an example, we're trying to stream at 720p 60 fps. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put this output resolution to 1280 by 720. Now when you select a lower resolution for the output resolution than it is for the base resolution, you're going to get an option for a downscale filter, which is the thing that's actually going to be downscaling your resolution. Now you can go for Lancos, which is higher quality, but for most cases, and if you don't want that extra strain on your hardware, bicubic is going to do the job perfectly fine. But if you think you want to go for Lancos and your PC can handle it, go for Lancos. But I would say just start out bicubic, see how it looks. If you don't like how it looks, then go back into the settings and change that. Frame rate, we're going to leave at 60, but as you can see, you can stream in a massive range of frame rates. Now, there's just one more thing that we need to change before we move on. Now there's just one last thing to do before we end this video, which is to go into the advanced section and scroll down here and make sure. Now there's just one last thing to do here before we end the videos, which is to go to advanced and scroll down here, and when it says automatically reconnect, just make sure that's enabled. So that's if your network dips, the stream ends, OBS is going to try and automatically bring it back up. It's just convenient to have. You don't really have to have it checked if you want to do everything manually. And when you're done with all of that, just click apply. And like I mentioned earlier, because we connected the Twitch account rather than just use the stream key, what ended up happening is now we have these docs. So this is where you can change your title, your tags, what game you're playing, all that stuff. And here actually we have another doc that is the chat, so we can put that on top. You can put these wherever you want pretty much. And yeah, after that, you just want to go here, make your scenes, make your sources, set up your stream all nice. If you want a video talking about how to set up scenes, how to set up alerts, chat alerts, donation alerts, sub goals, all of those cool things that all streamers have, make sure you comment. We'll make a video in the future on how to do that, but this was more about like the settings, quality settings, things like that. But if you do want like a stream layout, stream design type thing that you want to know, like how to set up chat, how to set up those kind of things, just please let us know. We'll make a video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. I'll make sure to leave the Twitch broadcast guidelines linked in the description. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.